For more than 10 years, the famous cop show Blue Bloods has kept viewers hooked by showing how dedicated the Reagan family is to New York City police work. But over the years, many things have likely happened behind the scenes that most fans don't even know about. Did you know that the show was almost filmed in Toronto, even though it takes place mostly in New York City? Or have you ever thought about why Jennifer Esposito's firing from the show caused so much controversy? We're going to show you 12 shocking behind-the-scenes facts about Blue Bloods that you no doubt already knew. 1. Danny Reagan's kids are really brothers. One of the most interesting things about Blue Bloods that you might not know is that the actors who play Danny Reagan's kids are brothers in real life. That's right. While they play Sean and Jack Reagan on TV, Andrew and Tony Teresiano are not just acting like brothers. They are really close as brothers outside of work too. This personal connection gives their acting a unique touch of realism, as you can see how well they naturally get along and understand each other in their scenes. Tony and Andrew are the same age difference on the show as they are in real life. Tony and Andrew were already successful child actors before they got these parts when they were 8 and 6 years old. Before Blue Bloods, Tony had a few small parts and did voice work. His voice was used for Wilson on the cartoon show Chuggington, which ran from 2008 to 2011. This part helped him get better at acting and got him ready for other jobs on TV and in movies. Andrew also became an actor like his brother, and his first big part was as Jack on Blue Bloods. The boys started their journey on Blue Bloods when they were young, and millions of people watched as their characters grew up. This unusual setup makes it possible to show brotherly love in a way that seems normal and adds to the emotional appeal of the movie. Fans are often amazed at how well the boys' relationship on screen matches their real-life connection. Their real-life relationship as siblings gives the Reagan family's stories more depth and gives the emotional and often complicated stories they deal with a strong base. When it comes to school problems or family dinners, Andrew and Tony's realism always makes the show's commitment to showing a real and understandable family dynamic stronger. The two brothers are becoming more and more interested in going their own separate ways, both inside and outside of the entertainment business. Tony has been studying more, which suggests that he might want to do more than just be an actor. Andrew, on the other hand, is happy with his part on Blue Bloods and might look for other acting jobs in the future. Second, the movie was almost shot in Toronto. No matter how important New York City is to the show's identity, the company almost had to move to Toronto because of money problems. It costs a lot to film in New York because of the high prices of permits, locations, and labor. Directors and producers often look for cheaper places to shoot in order to cover these costs. Because it has a lot of different cityscapes and good tax policies, Toronto has become a popular replacement for New York City in many TV shows and movies. There were a lot of money problems for the production team of Blue Bloods in the early seasons. Due to the high costs of filming in New York, there was a lot of discussion about moving the production to Toronto. Moving the show could have made it less realistic, since New York City's unique environment gives the story more depth. Blue Bloods fans may not know how close the show was to filming its famous New York scenes in a different place. There were a number of factors that led to the choice to keep filming in New York. The realness of New York City as a background could not have been replaced. It was very important that the city's unique atmosphere, well-known landmarks, and cultural importance were all shown. Support from city leaders and film tax breaks also helped with the money issues, which allowed Blue Bloods to stay in New York. By choosing to stay in New York, Blue Bloods was able to stay true to its roots and keep giving its viewers a real New York experience. This choice made it clear that the show was committed to correctly portraying the city, which has been a big part of its success. Third, an ensemble member was fired in a way that caused stir. The actress Amy Carlson, who played Linda Reagan on Blue Bloods, was abruptly fired after the 7th season. The shocking death of her character, which was revealed in the first episode of Season 8, took everyone by surprise. Many people in the crowd had grown close to Linda Reagan, and her absence made the show much weaker. The fact that Carlson didn't get an on-screen goodbye was one of the most controversial parts of his leaving. Instead of a proper send-off, Linda Reagan's death was briefly addressed off-screen as a tragic helicopter crash that happened after each season. Many people thought this was a rushed and unsatisfactory way for her character to leave the show. Fans and some cast members thought Linda Reagan's exit should have been more respectful and powerful. Even Amy Carlson was shocked by the choice. In interviews, she said she didn't like how her character's exit was handled. Carlson had hoped for a bigger plot to mark her exit, one that would show appreciation for what her character had done for the show. Her response made the controversy worse because it showed that she didn't think the show's producers were communicating or treating her with care. The firing of Amy Carlson had an effect on both the cast and the fans. Don Wahlberg, who plays Danny Reagan, also said that he was shocked and saddened by Carlson's job loss. The dynamic duo's time on screen together had been a big part of the show, and her exit was very felt. Fans were very loud about how unhappy they were, using social media to say what they thought and demand answers. The sudden departure of Linda Reagan from the show was seen by many as a major change to the family relationship and the emotional flow of the show. When fans complained, the people who make Blue Bloods said they understood, but they stuck to their choice. They talked about how important it is for plots to move forward and characters to grow. For example, they said that Linda Reagan's death led to new stories, especially for Danny Reagan's character. 4. Danny is played by a person who used to be in a famous band. Another interesting fact about Blue Bloods that you might not know is that Donnie Wahlberg used to be in the famous boy band New Kids on the Block and plays the part of Danny Reagan. When the band started up in the 1980s, they became famous very quickly and are now one of the most famous boy bands ever. One of the original band members was Donnie Wahlberg. The other members were Jordan Knight, Jonathan Knight, Joey McIntyre, and Danny Wood. When the group broke up in 1994, Donnie Wahlberg pretty much went into acting. He started playing a range of parts in movies and on TV, which showed how versatile and deep he was as an actor. Wahlberg got the part of Danny Reagan on Blue Bloods in 2010. His role as the strict, dedicated NYPD cop has been a big part of the show's success. Friends and family know Danny Reagan as someone who is dedicated to both his job and his family. 5th, the first Thomas Magnum was played by Tom Selleck. Another interesting thing about Blue Bloods is that Tom Selleck played Thomas Magnum in the original TV show Magnum P.I. It is one of the most famous parts in TV history that Tom Selleck played as Thomas Magnum in Magnum P.I. That show ran from 1980 to 1988 and starred Selleck as a nice, chill private detective who lived in Hawaii. Because his character was strong, funny, and charming, he became a fan favorite and made Selleck famous. Magnum P.I. was a very popular show while it was on the air, doing very well in both viewing and ratings. Selleck's part was a big reason why the show was so famous. In 1984, he won an Emmy Award for Best Lead Actor in a Drama Series for this role. Selleck's success was built around Thomas Magnum, who gave him a lot of chances to work in movies and on TV. The mustache, Hawaiian clothes, and Ferrari that he wore while playing Magnum became part of his image. His reputation as a TV star was cemented by this part, which set him up for future success. Tom Selleck continued to get noticed in the movie business after Magnum P.I. with parts in movies and guest spots on a number of TV shows. For him, though, his part as Frank Reagan on Blue Bloods, which started in 2010, was his big return to TV. As the head of the New York Police Department and the head of the Reagan family, Selleck once again wowed viewers with a performance that was both strong and caring. 6th. Tom Selleck almost got rid of his beard. One of the most obvious things about Tom Selleck is his mustache. It became famous when he wore it on Magnum P.I., where it helped him show that he was tough but attractive. The beard not only revealed who he was, but it also became an important part of Selleck's own identity. His signature look has stayed the same over the years, even when he switched to playing Frank Reagan on Blue Bloods. But while the first season of Blue Bloods was being made, the directors told Tom he needed to shave his mustache because they thought he looked a little too old for it. But Selleck did not agree with the plan to get rid of his beard. He knew how important it was to his public image and how it connected him with his fans. He didn't want to give up the beard because he thought it made his characters more interesting and believable. Luckily, the people in charge at CBS saw things differently. They let him keep the beard because they thought it looked good on him. It looks like the move worked out in the end. When Commissioner Reagan doesn't have his beard on, he doesn't look as scary. 7th, Commissary. Owner Reagan's house is a popular place in New York. Blue Bloods is known for being very true to life, especially when it comes to showing how the Reagan family lives their everyday lives. They are very much a part of New York City. The role of Commissioner Frank Reagan is played by Tom Selleck, and his home is very fancy, fitting his status as a respected police chief. The house is shown as a spot where the Reagan family gets together, talks about Paulie,